guys. Just wanted to send good vibes to Paul Beccas. I know it's pretty intense for you. I can't even imagine what you've been going through. A lot of the guys in the YouTube community have been doing building up command stands. I got so many wars in the water right now with other projects, so I decided I'm going to do a command video, but this will be a different flavor. So basically, I'm going to be playing my first game of Test of Honor, and I'm going to use some of 2 Hour War Games programming rules for playing this as a solo game. Now, to make this a command, the scenario will be the commander has to survive and go from this end of the table to that end of the table. So that is the scenario. Okay, so basically what's happening is that he has his retinue of Oshikaru spearmen. And, these are the cards for them. I pulled the mission of Path of Dishonor, so I've got an additional Game 5 Dishonor cards as a objective in this game. I think that's hilarious. Also, the opponents that I'm going up against will be Sohi, Warrior Monks. And the way I'm going to be working this is that they are going to be generated infinitely. So there's 2 groups of them. As soon as one group is eliminated, another group will be generated at their spawning points. And the spawns will generate PEFs like the 2 Hour War Games. And those will generate just like on this chart here and move accordingly. Now, once they become in sight, then I put those on the table, and then they program to go towards the commander with their action and then attack if possible. They're all armed with naganatas. This right here is the spawn point on this side, and then I have a spawn point right over here. And I'll generate them randomly as the units get eliminated, but I'll start off with them 1 in each spawn point, and we'll see how that works. I'm going to start the game with the PEF movements instead of my own movement. Have this as a threat level of a 4, so I need a 4 or less for passing. So those are 2 passing for the closer spawn PEF. And then I have to roll. So there's there are other PEFs on the table, so I have to roll on this top chart. I roll the 1. So the PEF moves 16 inches directly towards the nearest PEF and stops 4 inches away. Okay, so I measured from here, the spawn point, towards the closest PEF, which is over there. 16 inches. It's inside the woods, at the edge of the woods almost. So it's not within sight. Now to generate the next movement for the PEF. 2 passed. So I'm going to roll on the top table with a 1. So it moves directly towards the nearest PEF and stops 4 inches away. Okay, so here's the generation point. Went 16 inches and stops there. The buildings block line of sight, so it's still in PEF mode. And now I'm going to do one action movement for all 3 of those units, just as a programmed unit, just to because obviously there's no point in doing things further until the action starts. Then I can start doing the grab bag. Okay, so I just moved 6 inches forward with all these guys. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the PEF movements, starting with that one there. Okay, so I roll 2 dice. I need 4s or less. Okay, so it's 1 failure and 1 succeed. So that's in the number 1 chart here. So I roll the C on this right here because there's another PEF on the table. Roll the 6. So 8 inches towards the nearest enemy through cover at all times. Okay. Okay, so they move from there to here, 8 inches. They're outside the forest, and now their token will be added to the grab bag. Now I'm going to do the other PEF movements. So that's 2 successes. So it's on the top chart. Now, and there are no other PEFs, so I roll on this bottom part. Roll the 5. PEF moves 16 inches towards the nearest enemy through cover at all times. 16 inches. So they move from this location here, trying to keep in cover, and then they generated here because of the fact that that's when they first got in sight of the enemy. Now I added their token to the bag, and now we're going to start doing the pool's activation, starting with my activation. Okay, so what I elected to do was I moved 3 inches over with my leader, because that's what I pulled was a leader token, and I've used a cautious because I don't want to get jumped by 2 groups at once. Now for the Sony pull. So Sony pulled Warlord. They're not able to use it, so I went ahead and I'm going to use it. Do another cautious maneuver to try to get around this guy, because I want to engage them with my Ashiguru. Okay, so my turn, I pulled the first fate marker. So I'm going to pull a fate card. One with nature. Character can move through rough terrain without any penalty to his movement. Does not apply to mounted warriors. I guess I'll just hold on to that, I guess. Because she's on horseback. Yeah. Alright. Okay, so on the Sony turn, they pulled another Warlord or hero token, which I'm going to do another cautious move. And that'll end the movements for that hero. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a grab bag and hopefully I'll get something useful. Another fate token. What is that? Alright, so let's see what this is. Defensive drills. If this character is within 6 inches when a friendly spear-armed group is making an avoid roll, their weapon bonus is triggered if they roll 4 or more swords. So I will actually utilize that with him. Okay. So, there you go. That's actually very useful. The Sohi turn. They pulled a peasant marker. So they're going to obviously charge my leader. We'll see how the combat works. Okay, so doing the strike roll, the monks rolled 4 knives. The X's don't outnumber the knives, so that is a successful strike. Since I was cautiously moving, I removed the cautious mover marker, which enables me to do a agility roll, which I rolled 5 dice. Got 4 successes, so 3 of them is required for a success, so that he avoids being struck. And then the attacker is pushed back. There it is. Alright, so I got a peasant activation, so I'm going to charge this unit into that unit there. Okay, so I got a successful strike, 3 hits. This does not outnumber the hits, so successfully hit. And then also, that strikes home because there's no further actions on that Sohi monks. Okay, so that is the test of strength roll. I got a success because it's 4 knives. Only need 3 to succeed. So one Sohi monk was struck down by the Ashaguru spearman. Ah! Now it's Sohi turn. I pulled a peasant marker, so they move forward, but they don't have the movement to charge, so they just go 6 inches movement. Now it's my turn. I'll form the grab bag. Hopefully I'll be able to activate that last guy. I activated this last unit, and then the last marker out of the bag is the 3rd fate, which ends the turn. Now we'll reset for the next turn. Okay, so the Sohi go first this time. I drew a peasant marker, so they get to activate the unit. They're going to activate their fresh unit to charge my samurai. They actually miss. My samurai is forced back anyways, because the strike happened. Okay, so I pulled a warlord. So his action, I will attack the Sohi monks there to weaken them. See what happens. I have a successful strike. I have 4 hits. They're going to pull a peasant marker out of the bag, a follower marker out of the bag, to attempt to dodge. They successfully dodge. That will push the attacker back, which is pretty much what I wanted. So your turn. Can't use the leader, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it. And I'm going to do a full movement of my leader down the road. 9 inches because he's on horseback. I pulled a follower, so I'm going to do a charge action. I'm going to charge these guys, obviously, into these guys. They miss. That forces the Sohi monks back. So you pull the leader, which is passed to me because they don't have one, and then I use it to move my samurai another 9 inches. There he is. He moved all the way out there. So he's running for it. Okay, so the fate is pulled. It is the special instructions. Once per battle, before this character takes an action, one other warrior in your force can take a free action. Nice. The next marker pulled is a peasant marker, and that's going to be used to charge those guys into them. They miss. One success. But I got just as many X's as swords, so let me look that up. Okay, so if the X's outnumber the swords, then something happens. So I don't have to worry about that now. But I pushed the Sohi back. And then I pulled the last fate chip, so that ends the turn. I'm going to reset the board and the counters. I pulled a follower for my turn, so I charge into the Sohi. I successfully hit, and they are going to attempt a dodge. Okay, so they failed the dodge. The strength check is a success, so I do 1 damage to the Sohi. Okay, so the Sohi pulled a follower marker. Since they are so far away from the leader, they're just going to simply attack what's in front of them. They get some spoiling hits on the Ashaguru. They succeed and they hit. My Ashaguru are going to attempt to dodge. They succeed in the dodge attempt, so that pushes back the Sohi. I get a warlord marker, so I'm going to move up another 9 inches. Oh, he's hightailing it out of there. Okay, second warlord leader token moved. And 9 inches, we'll take them off the table. That is game. So the command has succeeded in going from one end of the table to the other end of the table. So Beccas Command succeeds. It's my first attempt at Test of Honor, so try to make a light scenario, but maybe I made it too light. I'll try some other combinations and see how that works, but this is my Beccas Command video. Hope you liked it. Take it easy.